Shalom to lesson 8 of Hebrew Bytes. Ivrit la'at la'at, Hebrew slowly, slowly. Let's start again with a blessing for this lesson. Blessed are you, O Lord our God, King of the universe, by whose word with all its letters heaven and earth were made. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shebara et hashamayim ve'et haaretz b'dvaro, עם כל האותיות. Amen. Well, welcome back, Talmidim Tovim, good students. This week we have the title of the parasha, the Torah portion, is VaYishlach, and he sent. Now, once again, we see the Va, and connecting letter, and we'll see this in a number of Torah portions here. Vayetze, VaYishlach, and he went and he sent is this week's word. So we look at the letters again. Va, Yud with the chirik underneath is Ye. VaYish. Here we see the shva under the shin, so it's, you know, that's the stop sign. Yish. VaYish, and then the next syllable is formed by the lamed and the chet. But the patach under the lamed makes it lach. So you have VaYishlach, VaYishlach, and he sent. Now, who is sending who? The word, if you're asking questions, remember last lesson we did la'an, where, lama, why, and this week we can learn me, who. Me, who is he? So me is who. So who is sending who in our parasha this week? And when we read it, we see that it's still a story of Jacob, of Yaakov, and this time God is sending Jacob. So God is sending Jacob la'an, where to? Back to his homeland, back to the land. And 20 years have passed since Jacob went to Haran, and now he's preparing. It's God's timing for him to go back to the promised land. And of course, the reason he fled from the land before was because Esau, his brother, was wanting to murder him, to kill him. And he's not sure what his reception will be if he goes back when he sees Esau again. Maybe he still intends to murder him. He doesn't know, but nevertheless, he knows it's God's will that he returns, so he makes preparations to contact Esau and to send proactively. He sends messages and gifts of goodwill. Who he wants to send messages of goodwill and gifts. So hu lishloach. And here we have from the title again, Shalach, VaYishlach. If you take the letters Shin, Lamed, Chet, Sholeach is to send. He sends. So Sholeach, he sent. But to send is Lishloach. The infinitive form of send, sholeach, is lishloach. So if you do have your lesson notes, there's the little helpful hint there. Remember that the infinitive form of a verb always has the lamed. And remember, the lamed, as we see in the title, is the only letter that ascends, that goes up above the line. It's as if it's the connecting letter between earth and heaven, somehow the lamed. And that lamed is always at the start of an infinitive form of the verb. So to send, lishloach. And we have a few more examples here. To write, lichtov. So to write, if it's he writes, is hu kotev. If it's feminine, ani, because I'm feminine, female, ani kotevet. And to write, lichtov. Now what we all doing? Studying. So hu lomed, he lomedet, and we want to study lilmod. So you hear the lamed at the beginning again. Lishloach, lichtov, lilmod. To speak, ledaber. Ledaber. And to send again, lishloach. So that's just a little helpful hint. Remember, if you ever want an infinitive form of the verb to do something, it must begin with the lamed. Right, we'll go on now to some sentences. Let's look at these sentences using the form of the verb sholeach. He's sending. Now notice the sentence structure. We have the subject and the verb and the adverb, the object in this one. He sends a letter. What is he sending? A letter. So sorry, we have the object. Who is he? Remember, who is he? And he is she. That's always the joke. Who is he and he is she. But who, he, sends a letter. Who sholeach michtav. Now, if you remember, the verb to write is lichtov. So the verb from that is kotev. So, and from kotev you get letter michtav. They're the same letters in it. The chav, tav, vet. So michtav is a letter. Hu sholeach michtav. She sends a letter, present tense. He sholachat michtav. Now, if we send a letter, you'll be happy to know that we, whether it's masculine or feminine, always stays the same. Anachnu. It's a little difficult word to learn, but once you've got it, it's more simple because it's we stays the same. Anachnu. Anachnu sholchim michtav. And there, the little im ending shows you it's masculine. So it's a guy's sending the letter, or one guy in the group. Anachnu sholchim michtav. And if it's feminine, Anachnu sholchot michtav. So notice the endings, im for masculine, ot for feminine plural. Now, I'd like to mention here, this is in the present tense. And we do have 3 tenses that we'll be looking at as we go along in the future. Present is hove. Hove. If it's past tense, that's avar. Avar, it's already happened. So avar is past, hove is present, and future is atid. So I'm just mentioning that so you're hearing the words already. Present, hove, past, avar, and future, atid. One more thing I'd like you to notice about the sentences actually is that the sentence said, Hu sholeach michtav. Now that means a letter. But if it's a specific letter, you would say ha michtav. Remember, you always put the prefix ha in front of if it's a specific object. So you would say hu sholeach et ha michtav. That would make the difference if it's the letter. And he sholachat et ha michtav. It's just a little reminder there about the definite form of the object. If it's a ha in front, like you remember when Yaakov came to a place, and at first he thought it was just any place, hu ba la makom, it was just makom. But when he realized this was ha makom, the place, which was the dwelling of God. Right, let's go on. Now we're going to do some practice again with the illustrated cards, which you did so well last week. And if you remember, the first 5 letters of the Aleph Bet were, were you able to sing them to Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star? Aleph Bet Vet Gimel Dalet Hey. Aleph, Bet, Vet, Gimel, Dalet, Hey, the first 5 letters. So this week we're going to be looking at the next 5 letters, which will bring it up to the first 10 letters of the alphabet, which I hope you will all be able to recognize and know and learn as well. So the 6th letter of the alphabet is the Vav. And here we have Vav, a very beautiful card as well. The Vav is Vered. Vered is a rose. It's also a popular girl's name in Israel, a Hebrew name, Vered, because it means a rose. Now let's do the vowels, practice with V. So here we have the vowels. Va, va, ve, ve, vo, vu, vu, vi, v. Schwa, no sound. And the vav doesn't get a dagesh, so we'll go on to the next one. Here we have, after vav, zayin. And zayin, what is shown in the picture, is zer. Zer is a wreath. Now in Israel, children love these because on their birthdays in kindergarten, whoever's is having their birthday, they have a wreath of flowers put on their head and a celebration in the gan. Gan is the kindergarten. So if there's a birthday, Yom Huledet, in the gan, then the child gets a wreath of flowers on their head to show that they are the star of the day. And also in the festival of Shavuot, it's customary because Shavuot is the harvest celebration of the spring harvest, and everybody's out in the fields. It's lovely weather after the winter, and so everybody decorates their homes with flowers, and all the children again wear lovely wreaths of flowers in their hair. So there we have a wreath of flowers, zer. Let's practice the vowels with zayin. Za, za, ze, zer, zo, zu, zu, zi, z. Thank you, Cindy. Next letter. So now let's just go from Aleph again to bring us to this letter. We've done Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet, Hey, Vav, Zayin. So the 8th letter of the Aleph Bet is Chet. And Chet, here we have a Chasidah. And Chasidah is a stalk. Chasidah, 8th letter of the alphabet. Let's practice the vowels with the Chet. Cha, cha, che, che, cho, chu, chu, chi, ch. Doesn't get a duggish. So that's the Chet sound. Now we go on to Tet, the 9th letter of the alphabet. Chet, Tet. And what do we see there? We see Tavas. Tavas is a peacock. And with actually the shape of the letter almost has the tail coming over as well. That's the Tet. Now realize that what does the Tet sound like? And it's very easy to get confused between the two letters with spelling. I still do. Because the T is the same sound as the Tav, the very last letter of the alphabet. So Aleph Bet is Tav and Tet. They both have a T sound. And you just get to know through practice when it's a Tet and when it's a Tav. So here we have a Tet, Tavas. And we'll do the vowels with Tet. Ta, ta, te, te, to, tu, ti, t. Stop sign, t. And we'll go on to the last letter today, the 10th letter of the alphabet. 10 is such a big number, but it's just a tiny little letter, the Yud. And in this very lovely picture, we see two things beginning with a Yud. We see the Yalda, the girl. Now, if you remember, what is boy? Boy is a Yeled. Yeled and Yalda. Yalda is a girl. And the girl is feeding the doves. And doves in Hebrew are yonim. One dove, the dove that's flying, would be Yonah. Yonah is also a name which is translated into English as Jonah. So if you know Jonah and the whale story, or the big fish, then his name in Hebrew is Yonah. And the plural, even though it ends with a hey, which is usually a feminine ending, Yonah, like Yalda, but it actually, in the plural shows it's masculine, it's Yonim. So there you have a Yalda with Yonim. Right, let's do the vowels with the Yud. Ya, ya, ye, ye, yo, you, ye, y. So I hope just practice, look in words in your dictionaries, notice how the vowels combine, the letters combine with the vowels to form the words. And before we finish today and go on to the vocabulary, the new words, we'll have a quick final look at the parasha, because there are some beautiful words to be found there. And in Genesis 32 verse 10, we're told, continuing the story of Yaakov, that after he's made all the possible preparations for his meeting with Esau, he then turns to God in prayer for deliverance. Now, some people say, why does he not pray first and then make preparations? But there's also a good principle that we need to do whatever we are able to in our own strength and abilities. And once we've said, right, I've done everything now, please, Lord, help me, I put the rest in your hands. And this is an important incident in the parasha because it's the first recorded personal prayer in the Bible. So it tells you that it's a first of something is important. And prayer in Hebrew is tefillah, tefillah. And this is a feminine tefillah because plural is tefillot. So we have tefillah, and after his encounter then and wrestling with this angelic being, the malach. Remember last week we had the word malach for angels, malachim, and Yaakov overcomes. He succeeds in the battle with the angel, the angelic being, and after that overcoming, he is renamed Israel. Yisrael. In Hebrew, it's actually Yisrael. He becomes Israel. And at the end of the parasha, we hear that his meeting with his brother was successful, and he eventually arrives and settles safely in the town of Shechem, and he is in a state of shalem. Now, what does that word remind you of? Shalem. It sounds like shalom. And it is a form of shalom because it means whole. It's a state of wholeness, of peace, of contentment, unharmed. Yaakov arrives there unharmed in every way. He's just whole. He has overcome his fear, his pachad, any fear that he had, and he's filled with trust, bitachon, in his Almighty God for his deliverance. So that's a very special parasha. And let's finish now with the vocabulary, the milim. We have the vocabulary chart. And the first word is tefillah. Tefillah, prayer. Next word, shalem. Now, a word from shalem as well, if you want to say wholeness, a state of wholeness, is shleimut. That is what we all aim for and trust for, that we can enjoy that state of shleimut, of wholeness, to the best of our ability, even here on earth. The next word, panim. He wrestled with this angelic being face to face, panim, al panim. So the word for face is plural, if you notice the im ending, and it's panim. We have two eyes, two ears, two nostrils, luckily only one mouth, but two lips, two like gates. So the plural word is usually used in connection with face, panim. The next word is heart, lev. That's such a beautiful word. Lev is heart. And there we have fear, pachad, pei, chet. There's a chet that we did today with the ah sound, the patach, got pachad. But the pei has the kamatz. So you can hear that the emphasis, that the kamatz is stronger than the patach, so the pa is stronger than the cha, so it's pachad. It helps with the pronunciation. And then trust, Oh, I see we have our words a bit mixed up here on the chart. I'm sorry. We will correct those because the fear is actually pachad. That should be up next to fear. And then trust, bitachon, we will fill that in. You can hear it starts with a bet. And then the tough sound in bitachon actually is the tet, which we did today. So it's bet, tet, chet, which we also did today, and then vav and nun sofit at the end because it's an end letter. So bitachon. And the last word, Israel. Yisrael. So in Hebrew, you can see that it begins with a yud. So it's Yisrael, actually, Yisrael. And with the sheen, you can hear it's not Yisrael. It's it's not a sheen, but it's a sin. Yisrael. Yisrael. Well, that's it for today. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope you using your dictionaries, enjoying putting them together, and doing some homework. Shiurei Bytes. Shalom, shalom. Till next time, from Jerusalem. Mi Yerushalayim.